Hi, what is your name and what do you do?
Hello, my name is Hammadoun. I'm the managing director of D3K. D3K is a company based mainly in Bamako, Mali, that specializes in services for the telecom industry, as well as computer software development and human resources.
Thank you. Can you tell me a little bit about what your life was, where you were before moving back to Mali, and what your life was like, and what you were doing abroad?
Okay. Well, before I moved to Mali, I lived for 18 years in North America. 8 years in Atlanta, Georgia, and 10 years in Montreal. I was a product manager for a telco company, a test equipment manufacturer company in Montreal. I was there with my family. I had three kids at the time. I had a great life actually. I was living, I had my own place and all that. So it was great. So looking at it from outside, you just wonder why I would like to move back to Africa.
Yes. Okay, great. Then you touched on D3K, the company you created, and then you're managing now. Where did the idea come from for creating the company and then eventually living your great life in Canada and moving back to Mali?
Okay. Well, D3K is a company actually owned by three people. No, I mean myself and a partner, a friend, and one of my brothers. For me, at least, the idea has always been to go abroad, to learn, gain some experience, and come back home and do something. I've always wanted to be at some point in my life an entrepreneur, and since I wanted to come back, home at some point too, figured that it was an opportunity for us, because I didn't know pretty much anything here. I had never worked here in Africa, and I had a friend who already owned a business here, so for me it was a great idea to partner with him, and also my brother also who was with me in Canada. So the idea for us, the goal for us was to use the experience and the knowledge that we gained, from abroad, from North America, and come here and build something that we can live off and that actually can create jobs and that can make a difference, that can help, develop, the country as well as the continent. That was really the idea.
So where did the idea of 3DK, the business idea, come from?
Well, the business idea comes from, as I said, I mean, it's from my own experiences. Myself, I have, when we created the company, I had been in the telecom industry for 14, 15 years. So I'd gained a lot of experience. I traveled the world, and I figured that I had something that I could sell, that I could make a living off, here. So, and my brother also was in the software development field, and we figured that that's something also that could be used here. So if you combine and we join our forces, we figured that we could do something really valuable here in Africa and Mali.
So locally and in the region, what problem does the D3K solve specifically?
Okay. Well, if you locally, when we first came in, we started developing software for school management. So because we realized that one of the areas that lacked resources was education. So one of the things, the first thing we did was develop a software that can help schools, manage the whole process, easily. And that's what we did. So we started selling that to schools. They became more efficient. Uh, they're starting to save money, so it was great. And at the same time, we started also a job search website, and that's really where we were surprised because when we first started it, our goal was just to help job seekers, find jobs. Because one of the main issues that we have here in Mali, and probably in most places in Africa, is we have high unemployment. At the same time, even the few jobs that are available, most people don't have the information. So what we decided was to make really the information easily accessible to job seekers, via their phones, via mainly SMSs and via email. So, and within a few months, it really took off. And today is one of the most visited Malian websites. So, and we help, create, thousands of jobs, and that's really good. And at the same time, also the other area that we provide services in the telecom industry is there also we have people working on our project, sometimes up to 600 or 700 people working. And you can just imagine the number of people those people are actually providing, for. So that's thousands. So that's really great.
Which is a good segue to my third question, or my next question, sorry, which is, can you touch on the impact? A lot of us who are abroad, one of the main reasons why we want to move back outside of family and the social aspect of things is making an impact, contributing to the development of the continent and making a difference. Can you touch on, first of all, how long you've been running the company, or how long you've moved back?
I've moved back for 6 years now.
So within the past 6 years, can you touch on maybe the highlights, one or two examples that touches on the type of impact you've made around you? It could be nationally or in the region, whichever. I just want to get a sense of the impact you've had and you've made for the past 6 years with your company.
Okay, as you said, I've touched upon it a little bit. So, one of the biggest impacts that we've had really was for us to help people find jobs. And as you know, and we're all Africans, unemployment, especially among young people, is extremely high. And what we've done with the job search website is really help those youngsters, find information, especially via their phones. You can be sitting talking to your friends and you receive an SMS, telling you that this job is available that fits your profile. So within a few months, we've had thousands of people registering on the website, and we've participated to seminars, to job fairs. We've been invited by, organizations, and so that's really been great. And a lot of people know the website, but then most people don't even know me or don't know the company behind it. So which is fun. So that to me, that's our greatest achievement by far. And at the same time, also, as I said, in the telecom field, also we provide services where we sometimes use a lot of resources. Sometimes it's up to 600 or 700 people working on a project, and a lot of, I would say probably 80 to 90% of them are people, low experience, low level. So those are the people that provide stuff, for their families in the cities and even outside the cities. And if you count, sometimes in a day, maybe we can help, out of the 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people at the same time. So, and that's really great. That's those two things combined to me is really our biggest achievement, and it's really fulfilling.
Absolutely. And last question before we wrap it up is, you returned, you lived in Atlanta, you lived in the States, you lived in Canada, you moved back. You're basically a trailblazer, as I like to call you guys, paving the way for us. What are some of the mistakes that you've made as a returnee, or you see others who move back make? And the reason I pose the question is, we may all be Africans here, but sure, but you guys have done stuff that most of us haven't done and looking forward to doing, trying to figure out what are the minds that we should stay away from, and advices maybe that you have, or mistakes that you've made.
Okay, that's a really good question. The first thing that I realized is that even though I'm from Africa, even though I'm from Mali, I was born and raised here, the fact that I've lived outside here for so long, it really changed me. So when I moved back, people were looking at me differently. I was, Yes, I was one of them, but at the same time, I was different. And that difference really can play a role. It can be positive, at the same time, it can be negative. But it's something that I had downplayed. I was always like, you know what? I'm from here anyway. No matter what happens, I'm from here, whatever they do. It is not true. It takes time. And I said something that I won't be able to do just because I missed that window here and I can never be like them on some level. So that's something that I realized. I'm different. And I have to accept that. That can be positive, it can be negative. The second thing is that, for me, and I see a lot of people who move back here make the same mistake. They tend to not let go the life that they have or they had before. This is Africa. This is not America. It's not the US, it's not France, it's not Canada. This is Africa. This is Mali. So the realities that we live here are different from the ones that they live or you used to live in North America. You have to accept that. If you still live in that mode, it'll be really, really hard for you to adapt, especially business-wise. So there are some things that you have to understand, you have to accept that people just won't do it here. It's not because they're lazy, it's not they just don't want to do it, it's not in their culture. So you have to accept that. And the other thing is that I realized, which is kind of sad, is we all know that corruption exists, and but the degree to which it really exists here in Africa. And I've traveled, we have customers pretty much, in many countries here in Africa, in the region here, and it's pretty much the same everywhere. So that's something that you don't like, but you see it everywhere. Everywhere you see it, and you just can't never get used to it. Those are the three things that you have to realize, you have to accept if you want to live here in general, especially if you're running business.
Thank you.